Daily COVID-19 cases in Korea have topped 200,000 for the first time since the pandemic began. The outbreak has yet to peak, but the government has already suspended vaccine passes, sparking criticism from health experts. They say it's too soon to let our guards down and are calling on individuals to take personal responsibility for their health.
The government has decided to relax COVID-19 restrictions in order to maximize the country's capabilities in coronavirus response. Health workers who had to monitor quarantine patients and issue negative test certificates will now concentrate on monitoring high-risk groups. The government also considered lawsuits and court rulings on the vaccine pass as well as the higher vaccination rate.
예방접종률이 향상돼서 방역 패스의 필요성에 대한 논란과 갈등이 커지고
On Wednesday, Korea reported 219,241 new cases, surpassing 200,000 for the first time. On March 9th, the day of the presidential election, cases are expected to surpass 230,000. The number of seriously ill patients could top 1,200. It's difficult to say when exactly this month the outbreak will peak. That's why health experts say it's too soon to relax restrictions.
얼마든지 환자가 더 폭증할 수 있는 상황입니다. 중환자가 증가될 수도 있고요. 또 국민들에게 잘못된 시그널을 줘서 감염 통제가 더 어려운 상황이 벌어지기 때문에 아직까지는 시기상조라고 생각합니다.
The goal of vaccine passes was to encourage more people to get immunized and to protect the unvaccinated. Now that the focus is more on self-monitoring, high-risk groups are especially being urged to follow safety precautions thoroughly.
가장 위험한 시기라는 것을 자각하고 또 본인이 이제 고위험 요인이 있으면 백신 접종과 또 가급적 사람 만나지 않고 수칙 준수를 잘하는 것이 중요하다고 봅니다.
There are also calls for measures to protect children as infections among them have increased and vaccine passes for teenagers have been suspended.
The presidential election is now just 1 week away. The final debate among candidates is scheduled Wednesday evening, which will cover various social issues. Meanwhile, leading contenders campaigned in Seoul on Tuesday, which marked the March 1st Independence Movement Day. Ruling Democratic Party's Lee Jae-myung wooed moderate voters with a pledge to create a united government. His camp has also essentially agreed to merge with minor candidate Kim Dong-yeon.
Ruling DP's Lee Jae-myung campaigned in the capital on Tuesday. He believes it's crucial to lead the polls in Seoul. He highlighted his ability appealing to voters critical of the current administration and its failed real estate policy.
부동산 정책은 섬세해야 합니다. 정책의 세밀함 그리고 정책의 현장성 이재명의 주특기 아닙니까? 이재명이 제일 잘하는 것입니다.
He criticized Yoon Sung-yeol for calling for a power transfer only in words with no solid vision or policy pledges.
앞으로 뭘 하겠다는 말은 없이 정치 보복하겠다 이런 말 공언하는 정치 세력이 과연 이 나라의 미래를 책임질 수 있겠습니까, 여러분?
He also immediately responded to a proposal to set up an integrated cabinet as suggested by some figures including former Environment Minister Yoon Yeo-jun, who worked for candidate An Cheol-soo's campaign in the past.
원로분들의 제안을 적극적으로 수용하고 이재명이 통합정부 구성, 통합의 정치 확실하게 하겠다고 약속드립니다, 여러분.
With political reform in mind, the DP nominee agreed to merge with candidate Kim Dong-yeon of the New Wave Party.
정치 교체와 또 통합정부 운영과 구성에 대한 합의를 이루게 된 것을 대단히 기쁘게 생각합니다.
The four leading candidates will hold their final TV debate Wednesday evening, hosted by the NEC. The 2-hour-long session, starting at 8 p.m., will cover a range of social topics.
Meanwhile, Yoon Sung-yeol is campaigning mainly in Seoul, supported by his former rivals in the PPP primaries. They responded to the DP political reform vision by saying that bringing in a new government is reforming politics.
Marking the March 1st movement, Yoon Sung-yeol visited the graves of independence activists and underlined the importance of free democracy. It was followed by a rally near a university where he condemned the DP's plan to reform politics and set up an integrated government. He called the plan a scam, coming right before the election.
국민 통합 아무나 합니까? 썩고 부패한 사람이 통합하자면 누가 거기에 호응하겠습니까, 여러분? 집에 갈 준비를 해야 될 사람들이 무슨 국민 통합입니까, 여러분?
He countered Lee Jae-myung's vision with his own plan to replace the current government. It appears he's looking to consolidate votes from the opposition.
정권 교체가 정치 개혁입니다. 저 같은 정치 신인이 이 나라의 정부를 맡게 되는 것이 엄청난 정치 개혁 아닙니까, 여러분?
He referred to economy, foreign affairs and security issues as the reasons why Korea needs a new administration. He also used terms offensive to the disabled to make his point.
민주당 정권은 어떻게 했습니까? 도발이라는 말도 못한 벙어리 행세를 했죠. 이런 정권이 국민의 생명과 안전을 지킬 수 있습니까?
While campaigning in Seoul's Sinchon, Yoon campaigned with his former rivals in the party primaries for the first time. With a possible merger with An Chol-soo looking unlikely, they called Yoon the opposition's only candidate. Yoon urged his supporters to participate in early voting this Friday and Saturday to boost voter turnout. Yoon has cleared his schedule for today in order to prepare for tonight's debate.
With disposable products being used widely during the pandemic, the amount of waste is also snowballing, and some say it's inevitable. But some Korean businesses are receiving positive response from customers for their efforts to minimize unnecessary waste.
Trash then from stores keeps pouring into the garbage collection site in this department store. The amount of waste paper discarded at all branches reaches some 8,700 tons annually. From this year, there are some changes. Some 8 million shopping bags used every year are made from recycled paper. Customers seem to like the idea.
환경 파괴지가 아닌가 좀 그렇게 생각했어요. 폐지를 사용한다는 거는 그 버리지 않으면서도 계속 재활용한다는 거니까 좋은 의미 같고요.
고급스러운 봉투 받으면 기분이 좋긴 한데 이게 또 뭐 환경 친화적으로 가는 부분이라서 바뀌는 거라면 충분히 받아들일 수 있다고 생각을 하고.
Unlike many seaweed products, this one produces zero plastic waste. Just 1.5 years since its release, more than 10 million pieces of this seaweed product have been sold. Moreover, its small packaging helps minimize the use of paper boxes. Other makers of seasoned seaweed also followed suit, receiving positive consumer response.
장 볼 때도 매번 이렇게 큰 걸 다 지고 가려면은 수기도 문제고 쌓는 것도 문제였는데 오히려 이런 게 더 줄어들고 환경에도 도움이 된다면 되게 더 좋을 것 같아요.
In 2021, the amount of waste produced in households, restaurants, and retail companies rose more than 6% on year, reaching 22 million tons as a result of the pandemic. Consumers welcome manufacturers' efforts to minimize unnecessary waste, which could inspire others to protect the environment.
Workers in the Suncheon-manbei wetlands are toiling hard these days, trimming reeds. This major operation helps manage the Bay Area landscape, but it's also an income source for locals during the farming off-season.
A vast marsh of tall reeds that billow in the wind. This is the best time of the year to chop off the reeds when the tidal range is the smallest. The old plants need to be removed so the new sprouts can shoot up well in the spring. It's the 16th year local residents have been cutting reeds. They welcome the extra work coming during the farming off-season, but they are happier to take part in preserving the beautiful reed field.
좋은 갈대를 관광한테 보여주도록 우리는 힘들지만 해도 그분들이 보고 즐거운 걸 느낄 때 우리는 거기에서 충족을 더 느낍니다.
Around 130,000 square meters of the 5.4 million square meter field are trimmed every year. The cutting is all done by hand to minimize any impact on the ecosystem.
기계 소음이 들리기 때문에 생물 서식 환경이 악화될 수가 있어서 수작업으로 진행하고 있습니다.
Some 180 tons of cut reeds are recycled and used in making roofs and fences. At Gwangalli Beach in Busan, they are used to make parasols. The golden wave of reeds at Suncheon-man Bay is a precious tourist attraction and natural resource. They also absorb greenhouse gases and purify the air. The field also gives locals precious employment and income.